And welcome back to Choice 2017. We're talking with Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, talking about everything about his politics, his ambitions, NASA, current affairs, and exactly what has happened today. Just before we took the break, we were discussing, Jubilee's angles and their point of view from where they're coming from. Let's talk about, again today, what the president talked about today, about the question on ICC. It's a long foregone conclusion. They're both, him and his deputy are out of the questions. They're no longer suspects. The cases have collapsed. But then again, it's still somewhere, lacking.
Well, those are some of the surprises that came through his speech, and it has left people wondering what is the concern here. But it is a disturbing trend on the African continent, because the whole idea is that an African nation or any African country, or any country for that matter, is part of the international community. Now, as we stand here, when they talk about dealing with the ICC, we must never lose sight of the fact that the ICC was the common glue for the Jubilee in the build-up to the 2013 elections. So you ask yourself, is the president here trying to reintroduce the specter of the ICC in the build-up to the 2017 election to try and make it an election issue?
May I ask, what was the feeling in 2013, just before we got into that election? And because there were questions about if the two of them can be able to run a government properly while facing the ICC question. And this was a matter that exercised the minds of Kenyans in 2013, just before the elections. But clearly they were able to.
I mean, when you look at it, let's face the facts here. This is a matter that should not have been the subject of a speech today, as far as I'm concerned. Because, first of all, we will always have to play a role in the international arena. And the fact of the matter is that Kenya, at that time, failed to create what you would call local courts to deal with any issues that were post-election violence related. This is how the ICC came into the picture. And ICC also came into the picture when the then Ghanaian president, who was chairman of AU, came here. So there is a serious contradiction there, in the sense that the ICC, if you go back carefully and look at the dotted lines, originated from the AU to come into the Kenyan political issues. The whole Serena talks were backed by the African Union, and the resolutions that were coming there were anchored on the fact that we're members of the African Union.
But now, what do you think is the motivation of the president to bring it?
So the motivation here is that, is he trying to go down memory lane? Is he trying to revisit this particular issue so that they can find a rallying call in the build-up to the 2017? Because it seems all other things are not working. Because there are concerns about their commitment to devolution. There are concerns about how they have dealt with the issues of graft. There are issues where they say the economy is robust. They give us statistics. But if you go to the Rift Valley, the milk farmer is lamenting that the prices are very bad. If you go to the maize farmer, they are lamenting. If you look at whether sufficient jobs have been created, you find that we don't have sufficient jobs that have been created, because even layoffs are taking place, whether from banking institutions or from some of the other companies. Layoffs are taking place. So we are being fed with statistics. And if I remember well, when you're sitting at a place like the Treasury, you can easily churn out a lot of data. And you'll find that a lot of the imports that they may be talking about now, or growth of imports and what are going to be related to the SGR projects.
So there's no
there is a big blip in some of these imports which are related to these particular aspects of projects that are going on, but they do not necessarily translate into the benefit of that ordinary person. And this is why the Jubilee government is resorting to name calling and trying to intimidate some of their governors into submission.
All right. In 2013, your rallying call then was that you are a safe pair of hands, that between Jubilee then and Code, that you are the person in the middle who could ensure the peace and security and the serenity of this country. What is Wycliffe Mudavadi's stand right now?
It is the same. I've not changed. I hope that has not changed in the minds of the Kenyan people. I still believe I have a lot I can offer. I still believe that I can be responsible, and I will be responsive to the concerns of the Kenyan people. I believe in national integration.
But that message did not resonate in 2013, so why did
it may not have. It may not have. But it does not mean that the Kenyans have lost an opportunity to reflect on some of the issues that I talked about then and the ones that I'm talking about now. They do have an opportunity to reflect on some of those issues. And I think I have a point, and I still maintain that we need trustworthy leadership.
And that trustworthy leadership is you?
Yes, I can offer that.
All right. And again, we go back to this idea that is NASA, birthed by you. Is it a political party? Is it a company? Is it an NGO? What is it?
Now, NASA simply means, is an acronym for National Super Alliance. Why am I advocating for a National Super Alliance? I think I've indicated it before, that there are so many people, whether they're members of political parties or whether they are in certain economic or critical sectors of this country, who feel that Kenya deserves better. Now, under NASA, which is the National Super Alliance, it's just an acronym, NASA, we want to be able to engage political parties who are of the same concern and believe that Jubilee is not handling things well. We want to be able to reach out to trade unions and other aggrieved parties who are also suffering from the breach and the wanton behavior of the Jubilee government to always renege on agreements. Classic example is the one that is hitting the teachers now, the doctors now and nurses. There was a collective bargaining agreement in 2013. These things were agreed. The Jubilee government has not implemented them. These are people who are unhappy. And they realize that the government is not willing to honor their commitment.
So what arrangement would that be? Because I'm trying to understand.
It's not new. It's not new because we are seeking their help. We are seeking the help of the civil society. We are seeking the help of all these individuals. You remember the civil society was very vibrant at one time. The civil society is beginning to feel a lot of pressure from the Jubilee government, and they have a lot of things to talk about. The religious communities, there was an attempt to try and regulate how marriages and what have you should be conducted in a very crude manner. So all these are telltale signs of a regime that if they got a chance, they would want to be very authoritarian. These are signals. And we are saying that through NASA, we can coalesce with these other Kenyans. And through a democratic process, non-violent, and as a coalition, we can give Kenyans hope.
And supposing NASA doesn't work and there's someone else with another idea elsewhere, are you willing and open to jump into that idea?
By the way, I said I'm also a responsive individual, okay? And if indeed there's a better idea and there's a better strategy, I have no monopoly over ideas. I would be willing to listen, to understand, and if I'm persuaded, I would say, fine, your idea is better, your proposition is better, let's go with it.
I have to take you back a bit.
Yes.
We're not talking about the Luhya unity and Luhya politics. It always comes up in every election, the elusive Luhya unity. How do you deal with it this time? It's elusive.
No, it is not. It is not. And I've always said that we, and I speak as a member of the Luhya community, and I'm proud to be one, all right? And I'm also proud to be a Kenyan within that context. We are the ones who have shown what we'd call real democracy in this country. We people of Western Kenya, the Mulembe-speaking people have shown that they can vote for Kenyatta, Senior, they can vote for Moi, they can vote for Kibaki, they can vote for Raila, they have even voted for Uhuru Kenyatta. These are that people. Now, if you talk about a constitution and the need for people to have and vote with their conscience and have freedom to make their decisions, then these guys deserve a medal. Can you say the same for some of the other communities in the country? How many other communities have shown? So does it mean that unity is shown when it is only a question of voting for your own ethnic community?
It sounds very nice.
Not anybody else?
But the political reality is that our politics and the political base from our country starts from where an individual comes from. That is the political reality.
Mr. John Smart,
is it a reality?
Let me tell you, and on this one, that is where I'll be a little bit, I'll exercise my ethnic bigotry. Let me tell you, let the Luyas be. Let them work with other Kenyans the way they have always worked. Let them have a right to make a choice of their own. And if that choice happens to be that one of their children is the best at any one given time, they reserve the right to vote that way. But they should not be vilified just because they have...
You've spoken before about clear unity.
Because they have not voted ethnically.
You've spoken before about clear unity, haven't you?
I have spoken about it.
In what context then?
I have always said that we need to deal with it in the proper context. All right? This is a democratic process. They have a right to vote. Okay? Let's just go down memory lane. I've given you an example of how they voted with all these people. When the Luyas voted for Kibaki under the NAC
2002
arrangement, and Wamalo was basically the running mate for Kibaki at that time, and the bulk, maybe 80%, voted for Kibaki.
Yeah.
Do you know at that time they said the Luyas were united?
Weren't they?
Okay, that is what they said. And I said, there's nothing wrong if they voted for Kibaki. It's perfectly in order. But now, the position I'm putting across is this: do not vilify these individuals because they have exercised the right and shown the country that we can vote for anybody, even if it is not somebody from within our ethnic background.
All right, I have to leave now, but 30 seconds.
Yes.
This is the last question. Will you be the president in 2017? Am I talking to the future president of this country? 30 seconds or less.
Kenyans will make that decision, but Kenyans must know that I've put my bid forward and I'll be looking for their support. Asante sana.
Musalia Mudavadi. Thank you very much. Always nice talking to you.
Asante sana.
All right, talking there to Leader Mamamani and Nasser, proposing Nasser. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi here on the 12th day of December 2016. Very honest thoughts there. This is Choice 2017. My name is James Mott. Up next is KTN Prime. Don't go too far.